that he embraced this technological frontier, recently pioneering India's first AI film festival and hackathon right here at IFFI. His unique position makes him supremely qualified to explore both the profound opportunities and the ethical dimensions of AI's impending influence on the art of filmmaking and the essence of narration itself. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Shri Shekhar Kapur, sir. Thank you, sir. We are truly honored to host Ms. Tricia Tuttle, Festival Director of the esteemed Berlinale Berlin International Film Festival. Her decades of experience in elevating premier festivals, including her tenure at the BFI London Film Festival, expertly qualifies her to articulate how a leading international platform evolves its programming and future outlook in a rapidly shifting landscape. It's an honor to have you with us. Dear ma'am, dear sir, thank you for being here. We are eager to hear your thoughts and insights. We are so excited for the discussion. The stage is now yours.
Thank you.
Can I just congratulate the festival for not using plastic for water bottles? Yes. That's good.
Thank you. It's great to be here with the festival director.
I still don't get it. Like, am I a filmmaker? Am I a festival director? I actually don't do anything. There are people sitting here who do all the work, and I just say, I'm the festival director. It's so different to be a film director, because then you have to do all the work.
Well, obviously, this is a full circle moment for me, because when I finished film school I finished my master's in 1998, I reminded you that you came to the Script Factory to give a masterclass on Elizabeth, and now I'm here with you, having admired your filmmaking for so long as a festival director and a filmmaker, talking about the future of cinema. So I feel like there's a nice circular conversation here.
That's how life works, doesn't it? It's a circle. By the time you think it's over, it's just begun.
This is our beginning too,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. This is a really fascinating topic, the future of cinema and festivals and exhibition and filmmaking with AI. And we started talking this morning, and I realized that it's something I'm really interested in it, but I'm also still a little bit of a skeptic. And I think you're a dreamer, and I loved that sort of tension. And I think it brings out some interesting conversation points as well too.
You know, every new technology brings a certain apprehension. Most of the people won't remember, but it's got nothing to do with film. But I do remember as a kid, when tractors first came to India, and they said, oh my God, what's going to happen to the farmer? Because the farmer works with a bullock and a hull. So farming is over and tractors will kill farming, but all the farmers now drive tractors. So every new technology, well, you remember in Hollywood, when sound came in, everybody said movies are dead, because movies are supposed to be silent. When digital came in, everybody said, oh, that's not how reality is. And I kept telling them, where was reality? Why did we spend hours lighting a shot or lighting her face or giving depth to a shot? We were creating a reality. Anyway, we never had reality. It was the film look, and we loved it. And it became an art form. And so I'm saying now we've got AI. I'm already seeing films. We've just come out of seeing lots of films. AI also, initially everybody's going to say, oh my God, I'm going to use AI. It's fine, I can use the technology. But it'll very soon go into an art form, like digital did. It didn't just say stat. And we then created a new way of shooting with digital, and we still light and we still do lighting. Now we'll do it on a computer. So I think that AI is, for me, the greatest thing about AI is the most democratic technology to hit us, not just and because AI and a lot of other things that are going on in this world, silos are going away. So what's happening in society with AI will start affecting us as filmmakers. It'll start affecting the studios because their financial systems are affected by it. So it's going to be a change throughout. But it's democratic because when there was a film that cost $300 million will now cost $3 million. And if you do it in India, it's probably cost $500,000 or even less. So it's so democratic right now, and that's the opportunity.
I agree, and I think what's interesting too, just going back to like 98, 99, is I remember some of the same conversations when digital cameras were introduced and digital projection, and everyone was saying cinema's dead, you know, it's over, it's completely over. And of course it wasn't, and it opened up filmmaking for many more people. You could make films for a lot less money. Somehow everything's gotten really expensive again. So that sort of lightness of touch, that lightness of foot that allows for real democracy in who gets access to these tools, it's disappeared a little bit now, I think. So I'm interested, and I'm also, I think, you know, when I really think about what happened then, it's just creating these tools doesn't mean all of a sudden that we're going to get 2,000 better films. I mean, there's only one, Shekhar Kapur, and it's about the storytelling, isn't it? I mean, you know, and I think that's what's going to happen with these tools too. When I really think about it, it'll be, it's you're only as good as the tools are not what make a film good. It's the ideas, it's the craftsmanship, and I think that's what excites you when you think about what you can do with AI.
To me, what I'm going to miss most is I love actors. I'm still, even though I watch 90% of the filmmakers all over the world, they sit behind a computer while the DOP is sitting in front of the shot. I can't do that because I believe in something more ethereal when you're creating. In all creation, I actually stand right behind the camera or near the actors because I think that there's some kind of energy, a circle of trust and a circle of love that is operating. It's not words, it's not the script. It's something that is unspoken. It's unpredictable. The unpredictability of the moment actually happens when suddenly there's an electric atmosphere that is created between, say, me and Jeffrey and Kate Blanchett. I don't think AI as yet can do what Kate Blanchett can do. I think AI will first hit the Marvel movies because they are like, you can change the actor, but you can't change the costume, right? So there are those action films because they have very few emotions. They have anger, fear, aggression. Whereas if you have Kate Blanchett or Shabana Azmi or something, the emotion, there's an interesting thing that we are looking at right now is the close-up. That's where AI has a problem because we don't understand how the pupil works still. Even scientifically, we're trying to work out, because even as you and I are looking at each other, there are certain variations in the pupil that it's not just they dilate and they come down. There are micro variations going on every second in the pupil that my pupil can work out and make out, but it's a subconscious thing. So when a great actor comes on screen with amazing eyes, like Kate or Shabana or Brad Pitt, there's something happening, a connection is being formed quite subconsciously. And that's why the close-up works so well. It's not just the eyes are big and things. There's something, I remember with Heath Ledger when I was doing Four Feathers, me and my DOP, he was a great DOP, Bob Richardson, of course, one of the most celebrated DOPs in the world. And I would keep saying, Bob, look into his eyes. Can you light his eyes? Can you light Heath Ledger's eyes? And he would say, Shekhar, what about my background? What about all the backlighting? What about all those things that I'm famous for? What do you mean constantly light his eyes? I said, because he's allowing you to look into his soul beyond that. And in his soul, you're seeing all of life, not just the plot. But what is it about the eyes? We're still trying to work it out. That's what I'm going to miss.
I love this, and you know. So what I'm hearing is you will not be casting Tilly Norwood in your next film.
No.
Okay, good.
Not unless she has a a costume and she's Supergirl or something like that.
Amazing. But also what I love about this is something you said to me earlier too, which is that right now we're in the stage with AI where creatives are obsessed with the technology. So you turn off, your brain turns off as soon as you see a spaceship, or you see one of the cliches of, that someone's creating something that feels quite obvious. And what you're saying is that we respond to the humanity of the art form, and that's something that AI can't yet, at least, replicate, is that sort of warmth of humanity.
I think we'll work it out. I think that as the new technology, the first thing is overuse of the technology. I remember when digital first came, even sound when it first came. I remember sitting in a theater, but the first Indian film that had surround sound, I was sitting in a theater. It was so funny. And they didn't quite know how to do it, because now you know that when you're sound mixing, you actually do try and put everything on towards the center. But that time they really loved the idea, and there were birds tweeting, and the whole audience was going, well, there's a bird in the theater. So after a while you learn not to overuse technology, but there's a childlike excitement about it. But we'll learn with AI how best to use it. But give you an example, the A.R. Rahman, who you just saw, and we've been running in Dharavi, which is one of the largest slums in the world. We've been running a music school for hip hop. After some initial from the parents saying, what are you doing to our kids? The kids now come, and some of them have become big hip hop and rap stars. And we're starting now AI film school for 11, 12-year-old kids. And I remember taking Sam Altman was here, and then I talked to him about it, and then some of his people, they went to the school and they took their little phones with ChatGPT on it, and they came out with tears in their eyes, not only because the kids are so cute and so wonderful, they were just stunned at what those kids could do. Like that, they picked it up like that, how they were using AI. So these kids can now express themselves with AI tools. So it's just another form of expression for them that they can start sharing in an excited way. So it's not just movies.
It's a sandbox. It's a creative sandbox.
Yeah.
Well, you spoke about that moment where you stand beside the camera and you see what your actor's doing and you feed off that. Are you worried about losing that tension with your DP, and your DP losing that tension with their gaffer, and like all of the ways you get pushed creatively when you work with a bigger group of collaborators, if it's just you and your toolbox?
It can be a very, it can be a very lonely job. Yeah, that's going to be an issue with AI. And in a way, it can be, you can fall into arrogance, because your DOP is not saying, my DOP actually is on the jury in this festival, Remy, who's I've done 4 films with, Elizabeth Golden Age and others.
What does he think of AI?
I have not had the courage to ask him yet, no, because I know he'll just say, oh my God, Shekhar, here you go again, stop it. That will be his answer.
He likes celluloid still.
Sorry?
He likes celluloid as well too.
Yeah.
The materiality.
Yeah, absolutely. What was your question?
No, I was just saying, are you worried about losing, the ways that you as a director get pushed by your key creatives to think differently?
No, absolutely. It's going to be an issue. It's going to be a bit more lonely, the job. It's going to be creating a film. It's going to be more challenging, but even then, it was very funny. My first experience on looking at AI, I was head of the jury at the Dubai International AI Festival 8 months ago. And the film that won was, not surprisingly, it was Korean. And the director came onto the stage and he said, I'm coming on stage and I want you to introduce you to my crew. And I thought, this is a film crew, how many people is he going to bring? DOP, production designers, 2 people. He was like the director, and very young, and 2 early 20s engineers, and say, here's my crew. So there is, there's going to be that idea of, I came to cinema because I wanted to go to shoot in the Himalayas. For me, Lawrence of Arabia, would we have even got those shots of the characters coming out of the sun and coming, because they came out of somebody actually being in the location, looking at the desert, being the location pushing you, that moment pushing you into a more creative self, of course.
And I think, I also think as a festival director and someone who's worked at this end of the film industry for a long time, and with the Berlinale we see 8,000 submissions and we choose 200 films, and of those 8,000, I see many, many good, very beautiful films, even films which are imperfect but beautiful and great ideas. But I also see a lot of very bad films, and I think there is a possibility that it's going to become even more overwhelming for festivals, for cinemas to find work that will really connect with audiences, because the incoming is going to be quite big.
First, one thing that you just said, I've thought a lot about it, but I want to just rephrase what you just said. Imperfect is beautiful. Perfect is very boring. So that's one of the things that we do as creative storytellers. We look for imperfections in what would be harmony. Because if it's harmony, you'd lose interest in complete harmony. I think that there is we're always looking at AI as competing with the cinematic experience, right? Let me just take India. We only have 7,000 or 8,000 working screens in all of India. China has 90,000. So we are, for a country that everybody says it's a nation of filmgoers and film lovers, we cannot service them. So I don't think AI is going out there to compete with large cinema screens. I think AI, rather like TikTok, will create its own platforms. Because there is a look difference. And I think there'd be a waste of time to try and get the film look back into AI. Like a new technology, there'll be an AI look. And I'm already watching, because I just came out of a big, I watched 70 films already coming into our AI competition. And I can already see people experimenting with coming up with a different look. Now, that's not a look that will necessarily go into the big screen, but I think that there will be different platforms that will be created, which will be the AI look. And then maybe people will share AI looks. That's the democratic idea, that kids will be making AI movies and they will be putting it to that platform. Then people will make variations of that. And it'll be just a new form. Like every technology does that. Every technology creates a different way of consuming that technology. So.
Yeah, no, I like this, and I've also heard you say, and I do agree, that it's probably at the more extreme commercial end of the spectrum where you're going to have some sort of challenges from AI undercutting some of the old-fashioned, conservative, traditional business models. I think, and I also like what you're saying that maybe what we're seeing is an expansion of the moving image form. It's not going to replace a particular type of cinema or filmmaking, but it's maybe going to work more in the space of short form content, is what's going to be happening on TikTok and what's going to be happening at the very commercial end of filmmaking. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, and if the audience here is patient enough, I'll show you one of the things I'm creating called Warlord, which is an AI series that I'm creating. I would not have been, that story, you said storytelling, that never changes. It took me 10 years to write that story. I did not know how to make it with the cost on film, but it took 10 days to put it on with AI tools. I could do it. But the other thing I realized is that what I'm going to do with it is make it open source. You can take my story, my images, or me and my collaborators' images, and use it. Create your own story out of it. Create your own, adapt it, and let this become. Could this become like a seed that creates a rainforest? And it just goes into many, many different forms. Just maybe 1 cent.
Should we have a look at that?
Yeah. Do you want to see it? Yeah. Okay. Can we run it? I hope it runs. It's very short, so don't worry about it. Can somebody run the trailer of Warlord?